Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. According to Monday, June 30's General Hospital recap, some masked guys doused Kristina Corinthos Davis bar with gasoline before setting it on fire. Let's talk about how Monday's GH episode unfolded, as there was a lot of drama. Sonny Corinthos argued that Natalia Ramirez couldn't be at the church after escorting her outside. In response, Natalia said Sonny was meant to be flying with her to Belize to begin their new life. Sonny clarified that his life was still in Port Charles while expressing regret for any confusion. Sonny had his goon, Paul, pull Natalia away for her flight despite her complaints that she had no friends or relatives to accompany the house and money he had planned for her. Paul waited outside Natalia's suite since she said she wanted to take a shower and finish packing. Natalia kept taking medicines and reaching for her bottle of alcohol, indicating that she was in crisis mode. Before they had dinner together, Lucas Jones borrowed Carly Spencer's kitchen and received assistance from Marco Rios. After a while, Natalia began sending Marco word salad texts, which Marco claimed were always guilty messages of gibberish sent while intoxicated. Lucas hinted that this might be Marco's final opportunity to get in touch, because Natalia was supposed to be leaving town, and was now contacting him. Natalia fainted on the couch from the medications and alcohol, but Marco texted that he was on his way. There were many inquiries concerning Natalia back at the church, but as Sasha Gilmore Corbin, Michael Corinthos, and Daisy Celeste's loved ones gathered, the christening proceeded. Harrison Chase then took a back seat to provide ADA Justine Turner with phone updates. Brooklyn Quartermain contacted Chase and demanded answers when he revealed that Natalia had attended the christening and spoken with Sonny. Chase was unable to discuss specifics though, and had to keep his marriage and his work life apart. ADA Turner asked at Anna Devane's office if Sonny was actually outwitting the police, or if Anna had simply been ignoring him. Anna reiterated her displeasure with Turner for not informing her of her most recent probe and emphasized that they should be cooperating. Jordan Ashford apologized and hurried out of Curtis Ashford's office after taking one glimpse at him during a passionate moment with Portia Robinson. Curtis soon deduced that Portia must have arranged for Jordan to witness it, and Portia affirmed that she did. Jordan wanted to know that Curtis was not returning, according to Portia. Curtis saw Portia as the manipulator, even while Portia accused Jordan of attempting to exploit the weakness in their marriage. Curtis claimed that Portia was still plotting and taking actions to drive them apart. Curtis pointed out that Jordan had lied about her job, when Portia brought up the fact that she had also lied. That was distinct from the time Portia misled him on the blackmail situation and Trina Robinson's paternity. Jordan finally arrived at Anna's office, where she discussed what she had seen in Portia's setup. Jordan hinted that Portia's plots might end up ruining Curtis' marriage, even though she had no intention of doing so. Jordan believed that Curtis needed to move on because she didn't think he could make things right with Portia. Anna began to question what Jordan needed for herself as a result. Portia wasn't shocked when Jordan called Curtis' phone. As it kept ringing, Portia asked Curtis what he would do and informed him that she would be fighting for his marriage. When Anna was by herself once more, ADA Turner came back and encouraged her to send out an APB on Natalia, who was on the verge of leaving Port Charles and might be their greatest opportunity to catch Sonny. After Daisy was christened, there was a little reception back at the Quartermain estate. Jason Morgan said he was okay with being called Uncle Jason by Daisy after Sasha allowed him to hold the infant. Kristina left the event early to open Charlie's Pub after receiving a call from her manager informing her that she had to cancel. Before Kristina got there, a group of men in masks poured gasoline into Charlie's Pub. Kristina was just detecting the gasoline when someone broke the window and set the place on fire, which caused the flames to spread quickly. According to General Hospital spoilers, Kristina will need to find a way out of this perilous situation, so pay attention. According to General Hospital teasers, the criminal launches a big strike against the top mob boss in Port Charles, suggesting that the feud between Jen Sidwell and Sonny Corinthos is set to intensify. After all, Sidwell was offended when he was turned down for the purchase of Sonny's PC crime syndicate. Sidwell is going to give Sonny a harsh lesson about why no one ever turns down his proposals since he detests hearing the word no. Sidwell and Sonny's War of Wrath is the main focus of the GH preview for the week of June 30th to July 4th, But the final two scenes are absolutely horrifying. Kristina Corinthos is seen floating behind Charlie's pub's bar, while fire is thrown through the window. While Alexis Davis's voice can be heard in the background shouting, "I'm not going to bury another daughter." A shot of Sonny's face flashes across the screen as the fire picks up steam after hitting some gasoline. Unfortunately, it appears that Kristina will be caught in the crossfire of this mob war, which is bad news given the young woman's mental condition. What about her physical condition, though? When Alexis strikes out at Sonny over the mere prospect of losing another child, her voice is trembling. Alexis will always be sad over losing Sam McCall, but losing another daughter would be devastating for the mother, who is currently barely surviving. Is Charlie's fire going to be bad? Will Kristina sustain injuries that could be fatal? There are several possible outcomes. Sonny, Jason Morgan, or perhaps another character might break into Charlie's and rescue Kristina before things get out of hand. Even if a character puts their life in danger to save Kristina in the nick of time, she still teeters as she battles for her life. The entire situation will set off Alexis's PTSD and all that happened with Sam. Even if Kristina only sustains a few scratches, Alexis will become a complete wreck if Kristina is about to die, and she would undoubtedly blame Sonny for her daughter's current predicament. According to General Hospital teasers, the drama will reach a fever pitch in Port Charles the week of June 30th. In any case, Kristina and her loved ones, especially her mother, will experience anxiety, tension, and upheaval. The sharp smell of smoke persisted in the air, serving as a somber reminder of the night Kristina almost died. Unexpectedly, the fire broke out, consuming everything in its path, including walls, furniture, and memories. By the time she woke up, the heat was intense and the air was heavy with ash. She had been asleep when the first smoke slithered beneath her bedroom door. Only action had been possible. There had been no time to contemplate. She had been driven forward by instinct, stumbling for the window with her bare feet pounding the blazing floor. Before everything turned black, she recalled the intense anguish she felt as she jumped and the ground rushing up to meet her. With her lungs still stinging from the smoke she had inhaled, Kristina now lay in a hospital bed with her body covered in bandages. Around her, machines beeped incessantly, their regular tones serving as a continual reminder of her near death. Her injuries were significant, and the physicians had been brutal. Nearly 30% of her body was burned in the second and third degrees, and there was a significant chance of infection. Every movement was excruciating, every breath an effort. Even her medical team was taken aback by Kristina's fierce want to live despite the suffering. Recuperation would be a lengthy and difficult journey. Every advancement would be difficult, requiring numerous operations, physical treatment, and skin grafts. In addition to stealing her house, the fire had left her with psychological and physical wounds that would take years to heal. The roughest times were at night. The memories came flooding back in the silent darkness. The smothering smoke, the crackling of flames, the fear that she would not survive. When she did sleep, it was frequently broken by dreams, which left her shaking and sweating. There were, nevertheless, little moments of hope amidst the suffering and anxiety. Little triumphs like the first time she was able to move her fingers without screaming in agony, a day without a fever, and the kind support of the nurses who wouldn't let her give up. Her family also provided her with unwavering support. They alternated beside her bedside, holding her hand and reassuring her with loving whispers. With tears in her eyes, her mother assured her that they would rebuild and overcome this together. Although Kristina had always had a strong will, the fire had put her to the test in unexpected ways. On certain days, the agony was so great that she wanted to give up, close her eyes, and let the darkness carry her away. However, something within her resisted giving in. Perhaps it was the recollection of her father's voice telling her that she was stronger than she appeared, even when she was a young girl. Perhaps she was thinking about all the things she still wanted to do, like travel, fall in love, and finish school. Or perhaps it was just the innate need to live, the unwavering conviction that her story wasn't yet finished. Kristina started to reclaim bits and pieces of herself as the weeks went by. She first learned to sit up on her own, then to stand up, and finally to take a few tentative steps. Every step was painful, but she had a glimmer of victory with each inch of advancement. The doctors informed her that certain scars might never go away, and that a full recovery could take years. Kristina, however, was adamant. She refused to allow the fire steal anything more from her because she had met death and survived. Her community's support had been tremendous. To aid her family in starting again, both friends and strangers had contributed cash, clothing, and necessities. To pay for her medical bills, a local charity held a fundraiser, and the generosity of the people made her cry. It served as a reminder that brightness exists, even in the most dire circumstances. Kristina was aware that the road ahead would not be simple. There would be disappointments, days when the agony was too much to take, and times when the trauma's weight felt like it might topple her. She was aware that she wasn't alone, though. She was demonstrating to the world and to herself that she was more resilient than the fires that had attempted to destroy her with each step she took ahead. The fire had not destroyed her. She was going to battle for her life now. The sharp smell of smoke persisted in the air, serving as a somber reminder of the night Kristina almost died. Unexpectedly, the fire broke out, consuming everything in its path, including walls, furniture, and memories. By the time she woke up, the heat was intense and the air was heavy with ash. She had been asleep when the first smoke slithered beneath her bedroom door. Only action had been possible. There had been no time to contemplate. She had been driven forward by instinct, stumbling for the window with her bare feet pounding the blazing floor. Before everything turned black, she recalled the intense anguish she felt as she jumped and the ground rushing up to meet her. With her lungs still stinging from the smoke she had inhaled, Kristina now lay in a hospital bed with her body covered in bandages. Around her, machines beeped incessantly, their regular tones serving as a continual reminder of her near death. Her injuries were significant, and the physicians had been brutal. Nearly 30% of her body was burned in the second and third degrees, and there was a significant chance of infection. Every movement was excruciating, every breath an effort. Even her medical team was taken aback by Kristina's fierce want to live despite the suffering. The initial days, a struggle against anguish. The first several days spent in the hospital were a haze of suffering and medicine. Kristina's mind struggled to comprehend what had happened, and she drifted in and out of consciousness. Her throat was burned by the smoke, and when she was clear enough to talk, her voice was a raspy whisper. As they changed her dressings, adjusted her and checked her vitals, the nurses moved around her with expert precision. The pain was excruciating every time they removed the gauze. Her raw, blistering skin screamed in protest. Elena, her mother, was always by her side. With her own eyes red-rimmed from sadness and tiredness, she held Kristina's hand through the worst of it. She repeatedly whispered, "You're going to be okay," as though the words might will it into existence. Despite her desire to believe her, Kristina found it difficult to hope because of the suffering. The prolonged recuperation process. Kristina's body started to heal over the course of the weeks, but it was a very slow process. She would require several skin grafts, the doctors stated, in which healthy skin would be removed from one section of her body and transferred to the burned portions. Her body was fighting the stress from the first surgery, which left her weak and feverish. Another struggle was physical treatment. The most basic motions, like raising her arm or bending her knee, seemed like enormous undertakings. She was softly but firmly prodded by the therapists, who reminded her that every little step she took was one closer to taking back her life. On certain days, Kristina felt like screaming in exasperation because the agony and fatigue made her wonder if it was all worthwhile. But something inside of her would not give up when she thought about the alternative, giving up. The scars on an emotional level. The difficulty was more than just the bodily injuries. Her nightmares were detailed reenactments of the fire, including the stifling smoke, the intense heat, and the fear of being trapped. She occasionally woke up with a racing heart, as though she were still fighting for her life. She was reassured by the hospital psychologist that this was typical, and that processing trauma needed time. It wasn't any easier, though, knowing that it was typical. She also found it difficult to deal with how she was now perceived by others. She could not conceal the burns on her arms and face, and she saw the glints of sympathy in the eyes of strangers. She felt the need to withdraw and hide until she was normal once more. However, Lena, her best friend, forbade her from doing so. Lena squeezed her palm and insisted, "You're still you. This doesn't change who you are." The assistance of a community. Kristina was surprised by how supportive her neighborhood was. To assist pay for her medical bills, A fundraiser was set up, and donations from strangers flooded in. Her former high school instructors contacted her to provide support, while her co-workers brought cards and care packages. It served as a reminder that she wasn't alone, which was overwhelming in the greatest way. When a small girl from her neighborhood, a child she hardly knew, handed her a handwritten card, it was one of the most heartwarming experiences. With genuine eyes, the girl responded simply, "I'm glad you didn't die." Back then, Kristina had sobbed out of genuine thankfulness rather than grief. Looking ahead, after several months, Kristina gradually regained her strength. She still had scars that would never completely go away and had more surgery to come. However, the fact that she was still alive was noteworthy. She began establishing modest objectives for herself, such as learning to walk unassisted, going back to work part-time, and eventually returning to school. Every accomplishment, no matter how minor, felt like a triumph. She had lost a lot because of the fire, but she had also learned a priceless lesson: resilience. She had lived despite facing death, and she could get through anything if she could get through it. For the first time since the fire, Kristina was beginning to think that the future might still be promising, even though she had no idea what it held. General Hospital spoilers indicate that the ABC daytime soap has recently released a teaser promo video for the week of June 30th to July 4th, and fans should prepare for some tumultuous days in Port Charles. As the video progresses, an unknown woman's voice can be heard in the background saying, "When gangsters go to war, they don't go after each other first, they go after their enemies and loved ones." The GH Weekly preview begins with Jen Sidwell atop Windmere's parapet, looking smugly over the small village while watching the fire at Charlie's pub. As the scenes change, a clip of Sonny Corinthos is shown with a worrisome expression as he stares at Jason Morgan, who also appears concerned. Both men's faces reflect police/emergency crew lights. The following scene in the promo shows Natalia Ramirez on a couch, evidently inebriated, gently slumping over and dozing off into slumber. Is this the end for Natalia? As the GH peak concludes, a horrifying scene unfolds in which fire is hurled through the window of Charlie's tavern into a puddle of gasoline. Kristina Corinthos Davis, who works behind the bar, is present when the fire begins to spread. When she hears the fire hit the glass, she jumps up, horrified. The final footage of the trailer for the week of June 30th features a shocked-looking Sonny and Jason, with Alexis Davis's voice in the background screaming, "I'm not going to bury another daughter." General Hospital spoilers indicate that Sonny, Kristina, and Alexis will face some terrifying moments as Sidwell unleashes his first series of attacks on the Corinthos family. Sidwell is not pleased that Sonny has rejected the idea of giving him his PC organized crime ring, and he intends to make sure Sonny understands this message loud and clear. The General Hospital recap for Monday, June 30th, shows that several masked individuals soaked Kristina Corinthos Davis' tavern in gasoline before firebombing it. There was a lot of drama on Monday's episode of General Hospital, so let's go over what happened. After leading Natalia Ramirez outside the church, Sonny Corinthos insisted she couldn't be there. Natalia said that Sonny was supposed to be on the plane with her, so they could begin their new life in Belize. Sonny apologized for the confusion, but he made it plain that his life continued in Port Charles. Natalia argued that she didn't have any family or friends to accompany the house and money he provided for her. But Sonny had his thug, Paul, pull her away for her trip. Paul waited outside Natalia's suite since she said she needed to shower and finish packing. Natalia was definitely in crisis mode, as she kept taking medicines and grabbing for her alcohol bottle. Lucas Jones took Carly Spencer's kitchen and asked Marco Rios for help before they ate together. Natalia eventually began texting word salad to Marco, who said she always sent him guilty messages in gibberish when she was inebriated. Lucas noted that since Natalia was supposed to be leaving town and was suddenly reaching out, this could be Marco's only chance to reach back. Marco texted saying he was on his way, but Natalia passed out on the couch from all the medications and alcohol. Back at the chapel, there were many doubts concerning Natalia, but Daisy Celeste's christening went ahead as Sasha Gilmore Corbin, Michael Corinthos, and all of her loved ones attended. Harrison Chase then moved aside to provide updates to ADA Justine Turner over the phone. When Chase revealed that Natalia attended the christening and spoke with Sonny, Brooke Lynn Quartermain approached him and demanded explanations. Chase, on the other hand, was unable to go into detail since he needed to keep his marriage apart from his business life. In Anna Devane's office, Ada Turner questioned if Sonny was truly outwitting the cops, or if Anna was simply looking the other way. Anna pushed on their collaboration and conveyed her displeasure with Turner's decision to keep her in the dark about her current inquiry. Jordan Ashford rushed out of Curtis Ashford's office after apologizing for a heated moment with Portia Robinson. Curtis instantly realized that Portia had set Jordan up to observe that, which Portia verified. Portia insisted Jordan wanted Curtis back, and needed to know it wasn't going to happen. Although Portia accused Jordan of taking advantage of their marriage's fragility, Curtis saw Portia as the manipulator. Portia was still plotting and doing things to drive them apart, according to Curtis. After Portia mentioned that Jordan had also lied, Curtis pointed out that she lied about her job. That was different from when Portia misled him about Trina Robinson's paternity and the blackmail scandal. Jordan ultimately made her way to Anna's office, where she discussed Portia's setup and the events she witnessed. Jordan didn't intend to damage Curtis' marriage, but she warned that Portia's plots would do so. Jordan said Curtis needed to move on since she did not believe he could repair his relationship with Portia. That made Anna wonder what Jordan needed for herself. Portia wasn't surprised that Jordan called Curtis' phone. As it continued to ring, Portia informed Curtis that she would be fighting for his marriage and questioned what he would do. When Anna was alone again, Ada Turner arrived and encouraged her to send an APB out on Natalia, who was set to escape Port Charles and could be their best shot at catching Sonny. Daisy's christening was followed by a small reception at the Courtemain mansion. Portia sets up Jordan. Curtis and Portia are kissing in Curtis Ashford's office when Jordan walks in suddenly. Horrified, she hurriedly departs and Portia smirks. Curtis assumes that everything was planned, and he informs Portia that it is simply another example of her manipulating conduct. Portia admits that she texted Jordan to come over and wonders if he is truly unhappy about his ex-wife witnessing their moment. He claims he doesn't even recognize her, implying that Portia's feelings for him are genuine and that Jordan has to grasp this. Jordan wants him back, but she needs to accept that this will never happen. The two continue to argue about Jordan and Portia's manipulations. Curtis claims that Jordan has been nothing but beneficial to him, and that whatever Portia believes to be going on between them is only in her imagination. They argue about her lies and Portia claims that Jordan is seeking to exploit his flaws, to which he responds that this sounds more like something she would do. She claims her actions were merely to safeguard their relationship. "You're ruining us," he says. When he calls her Trina's mother, referring to their daughter Trina Robinson, she reminds him that she is also his wife. He proceeds to recount all of the lies she has told him and how she has misled him. Portia declares that she will continue to fight for their marriage and then departs. Anna and Turner argue about Sonny. In Anna Devane's office, she and Justine Turner have a heated dispute about Sonny Corinthos' IQ. Turner wonders if he has been outwitting Anna, or if her loyalty to him is allowing her to overlook his actions. Anna believes they should work together rather than compete. She cautions Turner that she is about to overstep her boundaries. Anna refuses to let her manipulate her officers for personal advantage. Just then Jordan walks in, and Anna assures Turner that their conversation is done. Jordan needs to talk. Jordan describes finding Curtis and Portia on his desk after the Ada leaves, suspecting Portia of orchestrating the event. Jordan sincerely wants Curtis to be happy, but she refuses to disrupt his marriage. That responsibility falls to Portia. She wishes Curtis would settle his problems, but Portia is nothing but deceptive. Anna points out that Curtis is the one who needs to handle the matter. Anna encourages her to concentrate on her own needs, while Curtis deals with his troubles. Natalia crashes. Daisy's christening. Everyone is taken away when Natalia enters the church. Sonny volunteers to take care of it and they leave. Sasha Corbin appears with the infant, and Wiley Corinthos asks if his mother would be present, to which Michael Corinthos has clarified that she will not be. Meanwhile, in another part of the chapel, Brooke Lynn Chase approaches Harrison Chase and asks him why he remained mute when she mentioned Sonny and deception. He is unable to discuss it with her and does not explain why. However, he is the cop to whom Turner went over Anna's head in order to obtain information about Sonny. Natalia fell apart. She thought Sonny and she were practically eloping. Outside, Natalia reminds Sonny that he is supposed to be on a plane with her. She received confusing information and that they were practically eloping. Unbeknownst to her, She is destined to start a new life on her own. He apologizes for any misunderstandings, but he is providing her with enough money to start over. She feels abandoned. Sonny reassures her that he is watching out for her, but his life is elsewhere. She continues to tear down, but he consoles her by assuring she will have all she needs. In tears, she says that this is insufficient. She saw this as their chance to start a life together. He responds that this is impossible. Kristina interrupts and Sonny sends Natalia away. Kristina interrupts, informing that the ceremony is about to begin. Sonny directs Pete to ensure Natalia takes the aircraft. Natalia is furious, hoping that he and his family will get what they deserve. Sonny comes and the christening begins. The pastor explains the significance of baptism and asks Felicia Scorpio and Jason Morgan to reject Satan. He baptizes Daisy Celeste Gilmore Corinthos, and the family gathers for a portrait. Michael then invites everyone to his house for a party. Sonny informs Carly Spencer that everything with Natalia has been resolved. Kristina inquires about Natalia's predicament with Jason, who responds that everything has been addressed. Brooke Lynn overhears Chase's call to Turner. Natalia overdoses on pills and alcohol. Chase contacts Turner to explain what happened to Sonny, and Natalia Brooke Lynn overhears and confronts him about his behavior. He cautions her not to eavesdrop and underscores the need of keeping their business and personal lives separate. In the meantime, Pete walks Natalia back to her suite to collect her luggage. She insists on having a shower first and requests that he leave before she nearly hyperventilates. After taking some medications, she washes them down with wine. She recalls Jen Sidwell criticizing her for their son, and Marco Rios threatening to cut relations with her if she departs. Pete knocks on the door begging them to hurry. She tries to contact Marco but stumbles and loses consciousness. Post-Christmas family time. Felicia and Carly remark how fortunate they are to be grandmothers again. Carly only wishes Bobby Spencer could have been present. Sasha requests that Jason hold the baby and expresses her gratitude for his support throughout her pregnancy. She found it easier than she thought. He made her feel cared for, and she feels Daisy would feel the same way, adding that Daisy is extremely blessed to have him in her life. Kristina inquires about Natalia's activities at the chapel, and Sonny assures her that she should not be concerned. Michael enters, and Sonny expresses his pride in them. Kristina's bar manager calls in sick, so she must go to Charlie's to open up after delivering a gift for Daisy. Marco cooks for Lucas and they discuss Natalia. At Carly's, Lucas Jones cautions Marco that he has food delivered but does not know how to cook it. Marco responds that they will have to improvise. Lucas has never cooked, nor has Carly or his sister. He can use a microwave. Marco admits that his mother taught him how to cook, and they enjoyed doing so together. When Marco finishes the meal, Lucas expresses his gratitude and they kiss. Lucas comments that they will have the place to themselves for a few hours, and they begin to make out. Marco's phone pings and he finds drunk texts from his mother. It's all gibberish. Lucas feels there's more to it because she's attempting to flee the country. The doctor attempts to decipher the message and points out that this may be his last chance to reach her, to which Marco responds that he is on his way. Charlie's pub has been firebombed, and Kristina is trapped. Following a call from Kristina's bar manager, several masked attackers storm into Charlie's pub and douse it with gasoline. They make it a point to guarantee that everyone caught inside has no way out, as well as to take a snapshot of Sonny and Kristina behind the bar. Later, Kristina arrives from the back, notices that the area is soaked, and gasps as a firebomb is thrown through the window. The building begins to burn with flames spreading quickly. Turner runs into Anna's office at the PCPD, insisting that an APB be issued for Natalia.